Welcome to the Chaos and Carry-Ons podcast, our first episode of 2025 with Stephanie.
And Shelby.
Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride. Join the journey, come inside.
Everyone keeps saying, I can't believe it's 2025. Like 2024 went by so fast. And it feels like we say that every single year.
hmm
But last year truly went by so fast.
I
But
mean, I
you
spent most of my year at home, so I don't know, maybe mine's a little bit different, but honestly, the year went by really fast, even for me. And you wouldn't think that it would, but it really did.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say is time goes by fast when you're fighting for your life, right? So,
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
yeah. So, in this episode, this is just going to be like a Christmas, New Year's chit chat, which actually I was thinking today, it kind of feels like we haven't talked in 2 weeks. I mean, it's not the case. We have talked, but I mean, a real in-depth conversation, not really. We have not talked.
No.
My parents have been here.
hmm
Um, we've been doing the Christmas thing.
hmm
You've been doing the Christmas thing. So it's been like very
Yes.
shallow talk.
Yeah. So Christmas 2024 was it was different for us. I feel like I heard a lot of people say that it just didn't feel the same for them this year, and that was the case for me. I don't know. Did it feel the same for you?
I don't know. It was almost like it went by so fast that it didn't really feel like Christmas time. I was definitely getting that vibe.
That is exactly how it felt for me, but my brother got married like December 7th. So we were really busy with that, like the wedding and all that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if that is what like threw everything for a loop. But Thanksgiving also, I feel like it fell later this year than it usually does. And I wonder if
Yeah.
that has something to do with it too.
I was kind of thinking that too. It felt like we just had Thanksgiving and then we were having Christmas like 3 weeks later. So there
hmm
wasn't enough time in between there, especially like if you have a lot of extended family and you're trying to catch up on the Thanksgiving that you missed.
Yeah.
So maybe that was part of it. But I mean, we had a good Christmas. We did like the whole lights. I think you guys did that too. Like we
hmm
went through and saw the one at the baseball field. I can't think of the name of that. Trash Panda Field, I think is the name.
Is that the
We did
tinsel
the
truck?
no, the Tinsel Trail is downtown.
Oh,
This
okay.
is it was just a bunch of like basically it was a light show. But normally we go to the Botanical Gardens and that's you can either drive through or walk through it. This was only a drive through. I'm gonna say no, none of my kids liked it. Mateo enjoyed it, but the two older ones, they said it was too overstimulating. The difference really is like when you go through the Botanical Gardens, it's kind of a slow paced,
hmm
you're going through and all the lights are there, but um the one at the baseball field, you're just constantly it's you can see all of the show from where your car is. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's in a parking lot, so you kind of do these windy
hmm
loop throughs the parking lot, but still you can see everything that's in the parking lot,
hmm
and it's very flashy,
hmm
which I was shocked, but the girls did not like that. They said that they felt like they were both going to have a seizure by the time it was over, and they just said it like they felt like it was too much.
We did that here. And it I see what you're saying, like where you can see pretty much the whole thing no matter where you're at. And I felt
Hmm.
like that too. But I don't know. I get overstimulated really easy, like post cancer. I mean, I never really was that way before, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just blaming it on cancer. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. But I felt like that too. And we went through one that was like a tunnel, and I had to close my eyes because I was like, I think I'm about to have a seizure.
Yeah,
It was
that's
a
how this
lot.
was. That's how this was, and it went to the music, so it was very flashy. Um, they were both good, I thought. They were the same price, but the girls they preferred the Botanical Gardens. And then for Christmas Eve, we used to go to this Chinese restaurant and it burned down and they have not opened their new location back up. So instead, we did a very fancy um, dinner downtown.
Hmm.
It was stupid expensive, but everyone loved it. Everyone ate, even Mateo. It was like filet mignon and lobster and I can't remember the other thing, some kind of fish, but they did bring out chicken fingers and fries for Mateo, and they didn't charge us as much. So shout out to Commerce Kitchen. That was pretty good. Um, the Christmas Day, we had a very lazy day. We didn't really do much. So
That's my
I
favorite kind of Christmas.
yeah. I was trying to think what we even ate on Christmas Day. Oh, I ended up cooking a lasagna and Alfredo, like just on the fly. Sometimes we end up going to Five Guys because it is my birthday on Christmas Day. And so sometimes if I don't want to cook, Five Guys is always open, so sometimes we go there. But I kept saying on Christmas Day though, it does not feel like Christmas.
It didn't, but it was it was in the 60s here that day. I don't know what the weather was like there, but it was really warm. And I love when it's warm on Christmas because then Taylor can go play with like her outside toys that she gets or whatever. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like Christmas at all when it's warm.
Yeah. Taylor's still in that little girl, like she's in the height of it. The little
Hmm.
girl dolls on Christmas morning, and
Hmm.
I really miss that stage.
I had so many people tell me that they missed that this year. I posted a picture
Yes.
of her like on Christmas morning with she got all the American Girl stuff, and I cannot tell you the number of people that replied to that message saying like I miss that stage so bad. I mean, I
Hmm.
probably had, I'm not kidding, like 12 to 15 people told me that they missed that so bad.
Yes. Yes. There's just something about that. The little girls playing with the dolls.
Hmm.
I still remember our last Christmas where the girls got American Girl dolls, and I remember saying to Derek, "I feel very confident that this is the last year that we'll have dolls on Christmas," and it was. And it was just so sad to leave that behind. But we did have a Hulk, luckily.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people that follow me saw that. Like he got the Hulk hands and he got the Hulk mask. It's different than the dolls, but we still had a
Hmm.
little bit of pretend. But I think that Christmas always doesn't feel like Christmas to me because I grew up with snow, which it doesn't snow as much. It seems like there now during December, but when I was young, I felt like it snowed pretty much every Christmas.
Hmm.
Even Thanksgiving, we had snow. So maybe my view of Christmas is probably a little bit skewed. So did you guys also stayed home all day on Christmas?
Um, so we always go to my parents on the 23rd, like the evening of the 23rd, and we do gifts and we eat with my parents and my brother and now his wife. And we spend the night and do like Christmas Eve breakfast with them. And then we come home and celebrate with Jordan's family Christmas Eve night. And that's his parents, his sister, and her family. So that's what we did this year. We've had several like family, we have a family member with health problems, and I had a family member have hip replacement. And so our family was kind of all over the place. So, like, as far as our extended family Christmases, like with both sides of my, like both sets of my grandparents, all that was postponed this year. And I think that played in Christmas not feeling like Christmas. Um, I mean, I've seen my aunts and uncles like at Thanksgiving and then Austin's wedding, but not having Christmas with them this year, it just, I don't know, it didn't feel like Christmas. Um, but on Christmas Eve night, we came back home, went over with his family. Um, his mom had Olive Garden catered, so that was good.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And then we came home and did Christmas Eve duties. And then we just had a super chill Christmas morning, but his mom always cooks Christmas Day, like regardless who's going to be there. It's just like whoever's here can come eat.
Hmm.
And so we went over there because I had zero groceries in my house. I mean, I had enough where we had like a good Christmas morning breakfast, but I didn't
Yeah.
prepare for Christmas lunch or dinner. So we went and ate over there, and there was not very many people there. It was still like really lazy, low key. We just hung out watched TV, played pickleball. And then we came home Christmas night and realized we have no food. What are we going to eat for dinner? Everything is closed. I found a Facebook group that I'm in for the town that we live in. Like it's like a foodie group. So
Hmm.
on there, somebody had posted like, here's everything that's open on Christmas Day. So I went
Hmm.
down the list, and mostly it was Chinese or like hibachi.
Yeah.
There was one pizza place. That's where we ended up, at this pizza place where I feel like half of the state had the same idea that we did. And so it took forever. But I'm gonna have to prepare better next year. I don't know.
Well,
I
you
don't
should
know
try
what I
Five
was
Guys.
thinking. Well, our
Yeah, should try.
Five Guys is two doors down from that pizza place that we were at, and they were closed because I would have went for
Okay, so
Five
maybe it's
Guys.
just a local thing. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's just a local thing. But yeah, I feel like I always have to have some sort of a plan because I don't know if I'm going to feel like cooking that day, and I don't force
Hmm.
myself to do it. But
Well,
honestly, Olive Garden for holiday parties, shout out to Olive Garden. We've done that many times whenever
hmm
I get put in
hmm
charge of figuring out the menu. I
yeah.
just say, guys, we're going to take up some money and we're going to do Olive
hmm
Garden. Everyone
Well,
loves it and it always goes over well.
I mean, I really enjoyed that. There's something that I wanted to say about, so I know you said your birthday's on Christmas Day, and I thought it was so sweet. Taylor, in the midst of opening her presents like Christmas morning, she's sitting there and she looks at me and she says, Mom, I have to send a video. I said, What do you mean? Like, video of what? She said, I've got to tell Stephanie happy birthday. Like, she knew in the midst of this 6-year-old Christmas morning, like the Santa hoopla, she thought of you. And I thought that was
Yeah,
so
that's so
sweet
cute. That
because
is
she
because
stopped. I mean, she stopped dead in her tracks. She left all her stuff in the floor, came and sat by me on the couch and was like, okay, start the video.
well, because even most adults will forget. Like I don't get that many
Hmm
birthday messages. I get a lot of belated birthday messages.
Well, people are
Um,
busy. Like, but
yeah.
she even said, like, after that, then later, it was still on her mind, I guess, because she was like, Mom, having a birthday on Christmas would be a horrible birthday. I'm like, yeah, I think that's what Stephanie says. Like, it's terrible.
Yeah, I really did not enjoy it as a kid. Um, I'll say that what I always remember about Christmas as a kid and it being my birthday. Um, so my grandparents lived in Texas. They didn't live close to us, my mom's parents, and my dad's parents did. And so we went over there Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Now, let me say that my mom grew up Jehovah Witness, so she grew up not celebrating Christmas. And
Are
if
you
you know her, you
serious?
yes, I was going to say if you know her, you probably know that about her. But yes,
I
she didn't
did
get to
not know that.
yes, she did not get to celebrate birthdays. Actually, one like a little boy across the street from her, he gave her this little Mickey Mouse puppet for I'd have to ask her. I want to say it was like maybe her seventh, eighth birthday, and she still has that because that's the only birthday gift that she got as a child.
I did not
So,
know that she grew up
yes,
Jehovah's Witness. I had no
yes,
clue.
yes. So we had what most people, or I'll say some people, call a carnival Christmas. Um, it was like an unreal, embarrassing amount of gifts. Our Easter baskets were like somebody bought them from a store, but my mom would make them. You know, all of the, what's that, like the fake grass and the
Hmm
cellophane,
hmm
whatever that's called, wrapping on it and the
hmm
big bows. She went all out because she said that she was thinking, I didn't get Easter, Christmas, birthdays, so my kids are going to have this.
hmm
So she did feel bad that my birthday was on Christmas. So every year when I was really little, I got a birthday cake. I can remember having a Beauty and the Beast birthday cake on Christmas. But then as I got older, for some reason, she started giving me an ice cream cake. I think it was because I was always complaining that I wanted a summer birthday because I hated my
hmm
birthday being on Christmas. So now Derek buys me a ice cream birthday cake. But yeah, that came from my mom. That was her starting that. So that's what Derek, well, when he starts telling me that he feels like we're getting a ridiculous amount of gifts and all this stuff, I'm like, listen, I grew up with a carnival Christmas, so it's hard for me
hmm
to judge how much
hmm
is a normal amount on Christmas.
Yeah.
So That was our Christmas growing up.
I don't really remember, like, we didn't do any, I don't remember like Christmas traditions as a kid. I mean, every Christmas was so special. I remember like Christmas Eve night, we would go to my great grandparents with like our extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins. There's a lot of people. And I remember being there and just thinking, like, I cannot wait to go home because Santa's coming tonight. I mean, I remember like wishing that Christmas away just because it's like getting me one step closer to Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And Christmas Day, we would always, like, we were at home always, and we would open our presents and then go to my grandparents for like breakfast and Christmas with them on Christmas Day. So I don't know. That's really all the memories that I have. I mean, Christmas was not, my mom, I'm very much like her in every holiday. Like you said, your mom did different for y'all. My mom also like went above and beyond on Easter baskets, like even Valentine's Day. Like she would have us candy and like balloons and flowers and stuff on Valentine's Day. Every single holiday we celebrated. So Christmas wasn't any, I mean, Christmas was always the biggest, but it wasn't
Yeah.
as big because we celebrated every single holiday. I mean, every holiday. And that's how I am too with Taylor.
Yes. I was
Um,
gonna say, very much an overachiever.
yeah. But I mean, it is what it is. They're only little once, and I want her to remember that when she's older, like because I do. I remember, I mean, my mom still to this day, she sends us presents for Valentine's Day. She does us like Easter baskets with gift cards and candy. I mean, and I'll be 32. So, I mean, she's still like just because we're adults, it doesn't stop. And
Yeah.
so that's probably the mom that I'll be too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, you could totally see your mom being like that. She's always happy whenever you see her, so I can see her celebrating every single holiday.
Yeah.
But another thing that I was gonna say is one thing that always sticks out to me about a Christmas, and this is funny, but my grandmother always insisted that we watch the Disney Christmas parade every single Christmas. If you hadn't watched it in the morning, you were going to watch it at her house because she was going to have it on and she was going to make sure that the entire family watched that parade. And also either sometime on Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, you had to watch A Christmas Story. I hate that movie with every fiber of my being. I cannot stand that movie. And I think it's because I had to watch it so much. I could probably repeat the entire movie. But when I see that movie, that's all I can think about. What is the like? Remember the lamp? I don't know if you've ever
Hmm.
watched it,
Yeah,
but
the
it's
leg
like the
lamp.
leg lamp. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that movie drives me insane.
You know what's
Um,
funny is I don't know that I've ever watched that movie from beginning to end. I've seen bits and pieces of it. This year we watched almost every like classic Christmas movie this year because we were, like I said, a lot of our Christmases got postponed and stuff. So we were home a lot more this Christmas season than we usually are. And we started that movie. I got sidetracked doing something, and Jordan and Taylor finished it, and she loved it. But I was laughing because I don't know that I've ever seen it from beginning to end.
well, it's not great.
I mean,
It's
it's
not
not the
great.
best Christmas movie, but there are people out there that love it.
I know it's so funny too. But she also made us watch Home Alone 1 and 2. I do remember that, and those
Those
were
are
better.
classics. Yes, those
Yes,
are the
but for some
best.
reason, it's so funny though. Even when my parents were here, he was like, said something about turn on A Christmas Story. Like Nana would make us watch that. Please, no, I hate that movie. It is funny, like what sticks in your mind as a kid.
Hmm.
I just remember always hating the scene where he sticks his tongue onto the pole and it's
Yes.
like frozen on there. And as a kid, I'm thinking that this is real. And I'm just thinking, I don't want to watch this every Christmas. This is torture.
It's
So
not really a family-friendly movie either.
no,
Like,
but
I
neither
don't really
is Home
know.
Alone.
No, and like National Lampoons, I watched that with Taylor, the Christmas Vacation, and like
Hmm.
the language in there, I was like,
Yes.
okay, like this is not really a family movie, but I mean, it's
No.
a classic, so you have to watch it.
No. No. That's on Home Alone. I can't remember. There's a scene in there, and I just looked at Derek and was like, "Our parents let us watch this. Like this is
Hmm.
awful."
But
They're always like kids nowadays, and you're thinking,
yeah,
is it nowadays or was it then too? You guys were
90s.
letting us watch this garbage.
I know.
And there was always like what do you call it? Like an ashtray in every scene. Like people were just smoking. Like now, that's not even acceptable now. It's so funny how different it is.
See, we didn't have like a set thing that we did. I do remember watching like the Macy's Thanksgiving parade while they're all cooking for dinner, for Thanksgiving. I remember
Hmm.
that as a kid, but as far as Christmas, like I don't even remember us watching the Disney parade, which is funny. But I mean, I watch it now, but I don't remember watching that as a kid. And there was never
Yes.
like a specific movie that we watched every year. I don't I
We
mean, if
we
there was, I don't
definitely had to
remember.
watch that parade. Well, we had to watch and we watched the Thanksgiving Day parade on Thanksgiving. Like I said, my mom was raised Jehovah Witness. Her parent or her mom was still Jehovah Witness when she died. And so they didn't celebrate any holidays. So every single holiday was with my dad's family. We spent every single holiday with them.
Hmm.
And I guess that's why we were so close to them. But the okay, so I did tell Shelby this before we started that I wanted to talk about the best gift you ever gave and the best gift you ever received. So I'll go into that because the best gift that I can think about ever getting, I'm going to say one of the most special gifts that I still have was I remember seeing this porcelain doll when I was probably maybe 6 or 7 in the window of I guess it was a little toy shop, but I remember they had a lot of porcelain dolls. And it was like a little Red Riding Hood. She had like a cape and she had a basket and everything. And my grandmother bought that for me. And in my mind, it was really expensive. Now, I don't know how expensive it was. And I think back then it was expensive. But I still have that doll. It's up in my closet. So that's
That's really
probably one of
sweet.
I think that would probably be the best gift I ever got for Christmas. Would probably be that. The best gift I ever gave, I've given so many gems. Shelby's gotten some of my
Don't say
gems.
it because that's going to be the best one I ever got. I already have it written down, so you can't say that one.
Okay, but I really do think the best gift that I ever gave was a painting that my friend did for me of my girls on my mother-in-law's farm. Now, this was before Mateo was born. And so she painted a picture of them on her farm with her horse and what would be her father that has passed away.
Hmm.
We actually had Derek as a stand-in, like man, and then
Hmm.
she kind of altered it to make it look like her dad. And I think that was the best gift I ever gave. That painting, I mean, she did such a good job on it, but that was one of those gifts when you give it, you're like, I'm not topping this. This is
Hmm.
probably this is the top. Now, I do always say that I'm a good gift giver, but that was elite. I don't think I could
Hmm.
ever top that.
It's funny that you say that because I was trying to think before we started this podcast the best gift that I ever gave. And I think it's hilarious because we didn't tell each, I mean, we knew that we were going to talk about this, but we didn't tell
Mm-mm.
before this. Like just now, I'm hearing this for the first time. And what I wrote down for the best gift that I ever gave is very similar. And I forgot that you did that for your mother-in-law. And it might have been the same Christmas that I had this girl that I went to high school with. She is an amazing artist and she was doing paintings for Christmas. And I had her do a painting of my Nana who passed away. She passed away when I was maybe 6 months pregnant. She passed away September and then Taylor was born in January.
Hmm.
And so she knew I was pregnant. She knew it was a girl. She knew her middle name was going to be named after Nana. Um,
Hmm.
but she didn't get to meet Taylor. And so the Christmas, Taylor's first Christmas, I had that girl paint mom a painting. And I took a picture of like the farm where they lived. So it's the house that my mom grew up in. I took a picture like down the driveway of that, and she copied that onto this painting, and she
Hmm.
painted Nana and Taylor walking down the driveway holding hands.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
she took just the picture because I mean, she grew up close to us, so she knew Nana as a kid. And I just sent
Hmm.
her some pictures of Nana, and then I sent her like the picture of Taylor from behind because that's what I wanted. And that painting, it hangs, mom has it hanging, I think, in her kitchen. And I was actually looking at it when I was there a couple weeks ago, and it is so realistic looking. And that's what I wrote down as the best gift I ever gave because she didn't have the opportunity to meet Taylor, but like you could never tell from that painting that that wasn't just a copy of a picture. It looks so
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
it. And it was really sweet.
and like you said, when when she opened that, like I knew at that moment, like seeing her reaction to when she opened that, I knew I'm never will I ever top this gift. Like I knew that was a gem.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want a really good gift to give,
Hmm.
that's a good one. If you can find, like she said, that was on their farm and that was on my mother-in-law's
Hmm.
farm. It makes a really good gift.
It really does. And that, I mean, if you can find somebody that can paint, and I mean, it doesn't even have to be anybody that you know. I just happen to know that girl. I went to school with her, grew up with her in church, and she just was posting on Facebook that she was doing this for Christmas. And so my gears started turning, and I was like, okay, this is what I want. And she nailed it. And that gift, I don't remember what I paid for it, but I mean, it's priceless. It's
Yeah.
completely priceless. So it's funny that you said that because that also was the best gift that I ever gave, and I had no idea that you were going to say that.
Yeah, I knew in that moment that that was the best gift I was ever going to give. I still haven't topped that.
So the best gift I ever got, and I was trying to think back as a kid. I mean, I got good. I mean, I always got like the Lee Middleton doll of the
Uh-huh.
year. I mean,
Yes,
mom
yes.
still has all my dolls. Taylor plays with them. That I mean, I could say that. I got a camera when I was a kid, and one day I'll have to tell the story behind that too. But that was I was kind of going there because I did photography for a while. So it's special that like I was getting cameras as a kid. It kind of set me up for the future.
Hmm.
But the ultimate best gift I ever got was from Stephanie. Um, on her birthday,
It's that, and it was
Christmas
not supposed
Day.
to be like a meaningful. This was really like, what would you call it? Like a mean gift?
It
It's
was
really.
very mean. It was very mean. But so she, should I just go ahead and tell the whole story? Like tell who it is, or should I just, I mean,
No,
we've
you should go
posted
ahead
it
and
on
tell the whole
Facebook. So,
story. Yeah, you should tell the whole story.
so back in the day, Stephanie and I loved watching like 18 Kids and Counting, 19 Kids and Counting, the Duggars on
We,
TLC.
I
That
like how you
was,
said loved watching it. It was like
we
hate
did.
watching it.
Well, yeah, but like we watched it every week. We talked about it. Like
Yeah.
that's like the foundation of our friendship was on
Hmm.
the Duggars. And I
Yes.
don't, it was just a fascination. They have
Hmm.
19 kids, like they're very conservative and like some of their lifestyle is kind of how we live. So I don't know. It was a fascination. So there was one of the Duggar daughters that married this guy that I cannot stand. And I'm just going to go out and say it. So if the Duggars ever are listening to our podcast, like stop right here. But Derek Dillard is the, I can't stand it. Looking at him makes me want to throw up. It's awful. The
No, it
episodes
was.
that,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna say it
awful.
was really the episode that really kicked it off was where they kept showing him like he was almost throwing up. And that
He
was
was
really what
gagging.
pushed.
He was
Yes.
like something was wrong with him, and he was talking about his gag reflex. But this like whole
Yes.
hour of this episode is just Derek gagging all the time. And
Yes.
so,
And that's what really kicked it off for us right there. We
yeah,
were like fans of him, but that just I don't know what they were trying to accomplish, like maybe us feeling sorry for him. It had the opposite effect. We were like, this guy, this is too much.
it's just it was disgusting. And so
It really was.
any episode with him, like it was just like cringe. He just makes me cringe. So Stephanie sends me this video on, well, it was like Christmas Eve night. She sends it
Yeah,
to me. I'm already in the bed. And she
hmm
texts me and said, I'm about to send you a video. Tell Jordan to record your reaction. And so I get this video, and this was like the front end of Cameo. So, like,
Yeah,
Cameo
it had
was
just
not a
started.
known thing yet. So, you
No.
can
Mm-mm.
pay famous people to make videos for your friends or family, whatever. Like you give them points to talk about like the names and all that, and they record this video like they have done this special just for your friend.
Hmm. Hmm.
So Stephanie pays Derek Dillard to send me a Christmas video. And oh, the video is horrible. It is awful. It's so awkward. He's so cringy. And so I notice he says at the very beginning, he says, "Hey Shelby, your friend Stephanie wanted me to wish you a Merry Christmas, yada yada yada." He goes on. So I was like, that's weird, like that she got this and he's saying my name. So then about 40 seconds in, he says, "Tell Jordan and Taylor that we say hello and Merry Christmas too." And at that point, that's when I realized, like, wait a minute. She actually paid him to do this for me. I thought it was just a generic video. That still to this day, like, I just watched it the other day. It was on my Facebook memories and I watched it again and I laughed so hard because your best friend, like, what kind of best friend gives you a cameo from somebody that you actually like? But to have a best friend that chooses the person in this world that makes you cringe the most, I mean, you just can't beat that.
Well, that's the best part because Shelby goes, "Oh, it's real," or whatever she
Yeah,
said.
I did. Like, wait a minute. He said Jordan and Taylor. Like, this is real. This is real.
It was so funny. But that night, when when I saw it, I think it was Jill that posted something about them being on Cameo. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, I could pay her to, say hi to Shelby. And when I went on to it, next to it, because she didn't say that Derek did it. I should say that it was for herself. And when I went on there, I saw it said like Derek was on there, and I was thinking, oh, this will be even better. Well, when
Hmm.
I was trying to fill out, like you said, it has you fill out like for talking points. I was laughing until I was crying, thinking, what am I going to put in here? Because she can't stand this guy. Well, I started laughing so hard I was crying. And Derek comes in the room and he goes, "What is so funny?" And I was trying to tell him, but I couldn't tell him because I was laughing so hard. And then just remember he goes, "Does she like him?" And I said, "No." He goes, "Then why are you paying for this?" I was like, "Just forget it. Just forget it. You don't get it. You'll just have to understand later." But it was so funny.
It
The
really
really
was.
sad part of it was he only had like, what was it, one or two? I think it was were you the first one that he had done? It seems like I told you that.
Yeah, I think so.
And then it was like a couple years later, like he only had like two or three. That poor guy, he probably was really thinking like, yes, first cameo. And really it was for somebody that could not stand him.
I know. Well, and in the video, you can clearly see he like keeps looking off camera, like he's trying to look at his notes. I mean, how hard is it to remember, like memorize the names that you're supposed to say before the video's only like a minute long? So how
Yeah.
hard is that? Like he very obviously is like looking over, but he like squints his eyes to like pretend like that's not what he's doing. And that makes it
Well,
even better.
maybe that was his first cameo
I
after all.
guess.
But yeah, that poor guy. He did become like more likable to us over the years. I will say that. Like after Jill came out with her book and everything,
Yeah.
then I remember Shelby texted me. She's like, "Now I feel really bad."
Yes.
So now we
I
talked
did
about that.
because Daddy Duggar gave him like down the road. He gave him a run for his money. He put him through the
Mhm.
ringer. And they tell all this in Jill's book. And I felt really guilty after that. But I mean, I've never seen him face to face to tell him that I hate him.
Well, that really was a great gift. That was also one of those moments of I'm never topping this. I don't it was probably up there with the with the painting because we were laughing so hard. I wish we could play that, but her just the
Hmm.
the audible gasp, "It's real," was
Yeah.
was was a top tier moment.
We've covered Christmas 2024. It's been a very weird year. Well, it was a very weird year. I think we'll end this with our highs and lows like we always do. But instead
Of
of
the year.
highs and lows for Christmas, let's just do 2024 as a whole. And I haven't given any thought to this, so this is going to be like totally on the fly.
Um, if I can think of like Do you want to start with the lows or you want to start with the highs?
I don't care.
I think we normally start with the highs. So I'm going to say the high because, we have to think of way back. I don't know that I could just pick one moment, but I'm going to say some moments when I felt really happy and was laughing a lot. One top tier moment was definitely Derek on the golf cart.
Mm-hmm.
We could probably talk about that in the next episode when
Mm-hmm.
Derek was he claims that it was, well, you'll just have to hear it later. But he was definitely wrecking that golf cart. And I'm also gonna say was probably the cabana at the Grand Floridian. Like
Really?
when we I yes, that was like a celebration. Like it
I
said
mean, yeah,
congratulations on that cabana
yeah.
and it was Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt like Shelby's treatment, I think, was over, right?
Yes, that's why we were
Yeah.
there celebrating the end
Yeah.
of chemo.
Yeah. I just remember in that moment feeling like, okay, we're halfway through the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're here at Disney. It was Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's happy and healthy at that point. It's
Mm-hmm.
to me that was a high moment. And don't you always love being in a cabana? I mean,
Yes, I do. I love being in a cabana. I love being at the
can't get better.
Floridian. Oh,
Yeah.
nothing beats
Yeah.
that.
I know. Oh, also, I forgot we saw the Northern Lights this year. That was a high
Twice.
point.
You saw him
Yes.
twice. I slept through it the first time. Like I think it was around Mother's Day. I had just had treatment. I didn't get to see
Hmm.
that, but the ones in I feel it maybe October is when when it happened again.
Yes. So we
That
saw
was
him on the
really
night.
cool.
Yeah, we had it or saw him the night of Sophia's 16th birthday party. I forgot about that. That was pretty amazing. So I'll go with that as my highs.
So what about your low?
Well, I couldn't tell the whole story, but I feel like you definitely know what it is. I'm gonna say when my nephew was not acting right this year, and I don't. Also, you know what? Let's go back to the highs. I'm also going to say one of the highs was when me and your mom were making the decorations and decorating your house.
Hmm.
That was also a high point. So we did like a birthday I mean, like a surprise. It was really wasn't a party. It was just me and Shelby's mom.
Yeah,
When
it was
Shelby
my
got done with
very
her last.
last chemo treatment.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And we just like put up decorations and me and her kind of like, I mean, really, we spent the day together.
Hmm.
That was also a high point. I think probably the low point was Shelby had gotten done with cancer, and then now my aunt got diagnosed with cancer.
Hmm.
So I'm going to say that was probably the low of the year.
I've heard so many people lately being diagnosed with cancer. It's really
I
sad.
know it is. Yeah. So I'll definitely say that that was the low point of the year because it felt like we were finally getting done, like with the C
Hmm.
word and all of that.
Hmm. So the high for me, I I too like I agree with what you said about the Cabana Day at the Grand Floridian because that was like celebration. For me, I'm torn between two different highs. But I guess if you had like five highs, then I can have five highs too.
It's
Um,
hard to pick one.
it is. So I think the number one spot for me is when I had my first CT scan after surgery, after chemo. Um, I think it was even after radiation, my first like follow-up scan, sitting in that room waiting on the results for that lady to come in and say, as of right now, like your scan shows you have no cancer in your body. That weight that was lifted in the moment because I was sitting there waiting, like she's either going to tell me really good news or really bad news. And
Hmm.
that the weight that was lifted when she like came in and she's just like to me it felt like she was beating around the bush. And so I'm like, okay, well, she probably doesn't have good news then. But
Hmm.
finally, she finally spits it out. And it was not like a nurse or doctor that I had had before. So, like, this is a stranger. And she comes in. And when she said that, the weight that was lifted immediately when she said that, like that moment, I think that's the number one high for me for this year.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I could see that.
the second one was the last day of my chemo treatment, like that last treatment, walking out of that building knowing that I was done with that part. I mean, it was still halfway through the journey, but that was the hardest part of the cancer journey. And then I came home and that's when I saw like the poster boards down the driveway and was like, wait a minute. I saw a Tesla sitting in the driveway and was like, okay, I only know one person that owns a Tesla. So Derek and Stephanie have came here for me. Like I was so excited. Like I couldn't even cry happy tears because I'd been crying all day up to that point, just so thankful that it was over and I mean, I really had a decent chemo. Like, I mean, I didn't have near as many side effects as they said I would. And so just knowing that all that was going to be in the past, I don't know, that's my second high, I think, for the year. Um, and a low point, I don't know. I feel like with so many highs, there was that many or more lows.
I know, I was
Um,
gonna say, well, it was like I said, time flies when you're fighting for your life.
yeah, for sure. Um, I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I think just having cancer in 2024 and going through all that I went through, I think that in itself could be my low.
Yeah.
Um,
You
I
wouldn't
was
say
diag
when the what was it? When you had all the hives, remember? That was definitely a
Yeah.
low point.
Yes, I had a reaction to one of my chemos in January, went to the ER. My throat and tongue were swelling. And when I got there, everything was fine, but I had a reaction. And then I had another reaction the next month, which it wasn't as bad, but that definitely was a low point. That was very, very scary, not being
Hmm.
able to breathe. And I called mom and was like, I don't know, maybe this is in my head. I can't tell if my tongue's swelling. And she was like, no, Shelby, like you're talking really weird. So it's very obvious that it's swollen. And I couldn't hardly breathe. It was very scary. So I guess that like you said, that was definitely a low point. But just
Yeah.
the first half of 2024 as a whole was a low.
Yeah. Yeah. It was high highs and it was low lows.
Hmm.
But I'm surprised that that wasn't on your list, the cabana. Like I said, that was a remember whenever Derek did the what's it called? Cannonball contest?
I was
That
just thinking,
day.
did Jordan do it too? I don't remember if he did or
I don't
not.
rem I don't remember. It
I
kind of
think
seems like
he
maybe
did.
Kaylee did. I know that Derek did.
Wait a minute. The kids did the cannonballs. So Taylor did it for him because they, the poolside like entertainment person had the mic out and they were like, okay,
Yes.
kids come line up and the kids would
Yes.
jump in and yell as they were jumping in, Happy Father's Day. And then Derek
Yes.
somehow comes up. I don't know. Why did he do
Yeah,
it?
because then she started having the dads do it
Okay.
on
Okay.
the back end. Like after they got through all the kids, she said if any dads want to come up.
Okay.
Yeah, I only
So
remember it
each
because
kid, I remember that each kid would go up and she would ask them their name, where's your dad
yes,
at? And they would like
yes,
point. And
yes,
remember that
yeah,
one little boy, he's like, I think he's at the bar.
yeah,
So she was like, hello, John's dad over at the bar. Happy Father's Day. Like
yeah,
yelling across the pool area.
yeah, yeah. Because Derek, so Derek's mom has had skin cancer, several times, and Derek has had precancerous places. He actually is going to have to start treating one um, after my parents leave because it's kind of painful when he puts that on his skin. But anyway, so now he has to wear like he wears a long sleeve shirt with a hood when he's in the sun. And so it just looked really funny, like this man that's just
Hmm.
totally covered, like head to toe. He was even wearing like a hat. And I think he forgot to take off his hat, kind of seems like, when
Hmm.
he jumped in. I remember he forgot to also take off his glasses.
Yes.
And so they were probably thinking, what in the world is this guy doing?
Hmm.
But he got up there
What
anyways.
what in the Alabama is this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you also remember, that's the pool that all of our clothes, all the coloring
Hmm.
came out.
Yep.
So if you're going to the Grand Floridian pool, take a bathing suit that you do not care anything about because all of our clothes faded terribly.
Like everybody's.
Yeah. Yeah, Derek's shirt was like a dark orange and it just turned like a light pink that day, but
Hmm.
it was that trip was a good trip. But that was a really, really great day.
It was. I agree. That was one of my high points too.
Yeah. So I hope everybody had a great 2024. I hope it was better than ours.
I mean,
We'll say that.
it doesn't
You
take
can only,
much to be better than my year. So, I mean, I feel like a
you can
lot of
only go
people
up
had a
from
better
here.
2024 than we did.
Well, also we started this podcast in 2024. It was kind
We
of funny.
did.
Yeah, that it was just like let's just go for it after all everything that we've been through. I will say this. We have way more listens than we ever thought we would get. And if you're listening to this and you do not know us, comment on either the Spotify or the Apple. Now, I will say that I did see that we had two comments. They were from Jenny. So shout out Jenny.
hmm
But I don't know how to reply to them. So I'm sorry, Jenny. That's why we don't reply.
I didn't even know that you could comment on a podcast. When you screenshot those comments and sent them to me, I was like, how in the world did she do that? I don't know how she
I
did
know.
that.
But isn't it amazing that people actually listen to us?
I
Still
guess
mind
we're
blowing.
interesting. They either came, I mean, they either came to hear what we had to say or they just came because they had nothing better to do. I don't know, but we're glad you're here either way.
Well, maybe in 2025 you'll stick around and you'll tell your friends. We have some good podcasts coming up. Oh, I still have to tell. I should say one of the best things that happened to me in 2024 was I finally had a TikTok that went viral. We don't have time
hmm
to talk about it today, but in the next episode, maybe I'll bring it up.
Yeah, we have lots of exciting things coming, lots of exciting trips coming. Um, I
Hmm.
have I have two vacations booked right now, but I'm booking the third one soon. Um,
Yes.
we're just waiting on Derek to give Stephanie the go ahead, and then we're booking that one.
He does. He's if he's listening to this, he's probably flipping out because he just told me yesterday he saw me looking on Southwest and he was like, "I hope it's not a new trip." And I was thinking, "Oh."
He's not surprised. If he's listening to this, he's not surprised at all. We always have another trip up our sleeves.
Yes.
All
But
right. Thank you
thanks for
everybody for
listening.
listening. May your flights be on time and your luggage never lost, but if not, that's where the fun begins. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Pack your dreams, grab your bag. Adventures call at Sig and Zag. From castles tall to ocean waves, magic made for wanderers brave. Theme parks light up the night, starry-eyed in sheer delight. Board the ships, set sail and see endless tales and fantasy. Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride, join the journey, come inside. From Mickey ears to Dole Whip tree, pixie dust beneath our feet. Through the lands and sea we roam, feel the wonder, feel at home. From rope drop to the fireworks show, lose yourself in the joyful glow. Cruising waters, feeling free, every twist's a memory. Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride, join the journey, come inside.